Apple's Mac Mini has always been the underdog of Apple's lineup, tiny in size but mighty in performance. With the M4 Mac Mini still fresh, rumors are heating up about what's next: the M5 Mac Mini. Will it arrive in late 2025? Or could Apple shock us by skipping straight to the M6 generation? Today we're diving into everything we know so far, from leaks and analyst reports to expected specs, pricing rumors, and release date predictions. And here's the kicker: if you're wondering whether to grab the M4 now or wait it out for the M5, this video will give you the answers you need. So buckle up, Apple fans. This could be Apple's most powerful small desktop ever, but also its most mysterious one. Where we are now, the M4 Mac Mini. Before we dive into the M5, let's quickly recap where things stand today. Apple launched the M4 and M4 Pro Mac Minis in late 2024. This was the first major redesign in over a decade. The chassis shrunk by nearly 50% in volume, giving us a sleeker, more compact form factor. The base M4 Mac Mini started at $599, packing 16 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, while the M4 Pro version came with more CPU and GPU core support for up to 64 GB RAM and started at $1,399. The reception was overwhelmingly positive. People loved the efficiency, the design, and especially the value at that $599 price point. But of course, as soon as one generation drops, Apple fans start asking what's next? M5 chip CPU and GPU upgrades now onto the M5. What can we realistically expect? The M4 chip gave us a 10-core CPU, 6 efficiency cores, and 4 performance cores. For the M5, the layout is expected to remain the same, but performance will see a boost thanks to the 3nm or smaller architecture. In terms of raw numbers, we're likely looking at 20 to 25% faster multi-core performance compared to the M4. On the GPU side, this is where things get exciting. Apple hasn't increased the GPU cores in the base Mac Mini since the M2, so the M5 may finally bump the base model from 10 GPU cores to 12 GPU cores. This will mean better gaming, smoother rendering, and stronger performance for anyone working in graphics-heavy workflows. RAM and storage configurations: the M4 Mac Mini made a big move by ditching 8 GB RAM and making 16 GB the baseline. For the M5, it's almost certain this will continue. Expect options like 16 GB, 24 GB, and 32 GB for the standard M5. The Pro model will likely offer 24 GB, 48 GB, and 64 GB RAM, with whispers of 96 GB on higher tier builds. Storage, however, is overdue for an upgrade. In 2025, 256 GB just doesn't cut it. Leaks suggest Apple may finally move to 512 GB SSD as the baseline for the M5. The M5 Pro version might even start at 1 TB, which would make sense given the Pro workflows it's targeting. M5 Pro, the power user's Mac Mini. Just like the M4 lineup, we're expecting both an M5 and an M5 Pro version. The M5 Pro could feature up to 12 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, making it a true multi-core monster. On the GPU side, expect up to 22 GPU cores, which would be perfect for 3D artists, video editors, and software developers. RAM and storage ceilings will also be higher, making this version a real alternative to the Mac Studio, but at a more affordable price point. Design staying the same. If you're hoping for another redesign, don't hold your breath. Apple only just refreshed the Mac Mini design in 2024 after over a decade of keeping it the same. So the M5 generation will almost certainly keep the same compact chassis. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. The small, efficient, and sleek. The only real criticism is the power button placement on the back, which some users find awkward. But that's hardly a deal breaker. Pricing expectations: now let's talk about money. The base M5 Mac Mini is expected to stick to that $599 price point, making it one of the most affordable Macs you can buy. The M5 Pro Mac Mini will likely start at $1,399 with higher configurations scaling well past $2,000. Could there be a small $50, $100 bump due to chip costs and inflation? Possibly, but Apple knows the Mac Mini sells because of its affordability, so they'll want to keep pricing aggressive. Release date predictions: here's where things get really interesting and uncertain. Apple typically updates the Mac Mini every 1-2 years. Analysts like Mark Gurman suggest that the M5 Mac Mini won't arrive before late 2025. In fact, some reports hint that Apple may skip the M5 entirely for the Mac Mini and instead wait until 2026 to launch an M6-powered version. If that happens, the M4 Mac Mini might remain Apple's main compact desktop offering for almost 2 full years. Should you wait or buy now? So what should you do if you're considering a Mac Mini? Buy the M4 now if you need a desktop today, your workflow doesn't demand cutting-edge specs, or you love the current $599 price point. Wait for the M5 if you want future-proofing, higher baseline storage, better GPU power, and stronger AI acceleration. But remember, if Apple skips straight to the M6, waiting could mean holding off until 2026.so. There you have it, everything we know so far about the upcoming M5 Mac Mini. From the rumored 25% performance gains to a possible 512GB storage baseline and even whispers of a Pro model with up to 22 GPU cores, this tiny desktop could be a powerhouse. But the million-dollar question remains, will Apple release it in 2025 or skip it entirely for the M6 in 2026? Now, I want to hear from you. If the M5 Mac Mini launches, would you upgrade right away or would you wait it out for the M6? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I love seeing where the Apple community stands on this. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest Apple leaks, rumors, and deep dives. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Apple updates, and I'll catch you in the next video.